the first day we entered this house for filming, and they're filming you like you see in the bathroom and all this, right? They film me. I'm in a room now, so I'm running towards the room, and a few of the other candidates have jumped onto my bed, and the bed drops, it collapses. Everyone's got a bed with like these stands on, and here's me, 12 weeks, 8 weeks. They didn't get me another bed. They were like, "You sleep on the floor."
You're joking.
I slept on the floor. BBC made me sleep on the floor.
He's like, he's from Kenya. He can handle it. Hey guys and gals, welcome back to another episode of Tracksuit and Ties. You're joined by your boy MEP, also joined by my boy.
Easy, I'm slash amazing.
Also joined by my boy
Mr. B, aka Mr. B Spark.
And also joined by another very special guest.
The best.
The best. The best.
The best.
Fired candidate ever.
What did you say?
Yeah. Let's go with Sarge.
Sarge, it's better.
Yeah, I'll give a bit of respect to Lord Sugar just yet.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
I've actually got a special haircut just for you.
As you can tell, he's dressed for. It looks like when we saw him, we thought he was going on a date with you after. Because look how he looks. You look great, bro.
He's the only one that's worn trousers as well.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't get the memo.
I bet you two didn't prepare for me because I wasn't a girl. I swear if it was a girl.
100%. Oh, 100%. No.
That's a proper host, you know.
100%. We won't deny it. If there's a girl coming on, we try our best.
No, I'm gonna be honest with you, yeah. Yes. And two, I legit didn't think you were gonna come.
I was thinking this morning. I was like, should I just cut and say, no, I'm not gonna come.
I'm being judgmental. I watched some of your videos and I was just like, oh, he comes across as brash, a bit sometimes snobby. So it's like, he's gonna leave us hanging. He's gonna leave us dry on the wall. Like he's not coming.
Could you imagine? You'd be sitting in there. Like getting excited, I don't turn up.
I would just literally be taking the piss out of you.
The episode would have been dedicated to ripping,
slandering you.
Yeah,
we like to go back and deep early in it, and me and him found it fascinating. You were born in Kenya.
Yeah,
and call me racist, but usually Kenyans are black, so
I'm running around with elephants and lions. That's what people see. Yeah, I was born in Kenya in '92, so I'm 29.
Yeah.
Okay.
I lived there till I was about 11, 12. Actually lived in Kenya and Australia and then moved to the UK. But yeah, Kenya's a beautiful country. Nice place to live. Black women are beautiful. My parents actually... My mum's born here. My dad was born in Kenya. But they're both Indian. So it's like... There's actually a time... Basically, I'm sure you guys know, is there's a period in time, basically, people used to leave their countries. So my grandfather flew out from India. He didn't even fly out. He got on a boat and moved to Kenya.
Right.
So that's how the Indian heritage got built up in East Africa.
From your dad, he's the super spreader. What?
Yeah, my grandfather from my dad was a super spreader.
Yeah,
super spreader. So he moved from India in a boat and then built a whole life in Kenya.
Okay.
Call me ignorant. I thought it was because of like slavery. I thought
there's I think slavery is developed in Kenya. Like a lot of people in Kenya, like the rich people, either Indians or the white people there, and it's then black people that were used as, I wouldn't say slavery. It was just a form of a job at that point. They were not educated. Okay, these rich people have come. But to be fair, it wasn't that my grandfather's rich. He had to get on a boat. Otherwise, if he was rich, he would probably flew out. But he had to go there, build a life for him, and then you start to build that. But that's with a lot of parents, Like, well, we're lucky. We're living in London. We've been brought up here. But back then, people always tried to leave to go better their lives and go to nice.
So what attracted them to go to Kenya and Tanzania and these places?
Yeah.
So at that time, East Africa was like a place to go where you could relatively build a good life, cheap, quickly, get a house, get a business.
I wonder how they heard about it back in the day.
Yeah, how do you know
about Kenya's popping? Let's go.
It wasn't like,
it's popping. Yeah,
it wasn't like
there
was no TikTok, Instagram, so it wasn't like it's a hotspot. But I think it was just like there used to be boats to leave there. And the thing is, at that point in time, remember, Kenya was still part of the British colony, right? So it was a good time to go to a developing country, still have an influence of like the British laws and stuff, and eventually it meant you couldn't just fly. You couldn't go on a boat from India to the UK, for example. You'd never be let in. No. So the other way was, hey, let's find another way into a country where it's still managed or owned by the British, and then build a life from there, basically.
Did you do any like hunting and that? No, wait.
I was gonna say coming from an African man as well. Man used to hunt lions for dinner. The fuck?
Wait. It's just because people go to Kenya to do safari and they do hunting.
Oh, yeah.
I just assumed maybe like it was like a hobby.
Yeah.
You know, like people like some countries they play football.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's a stereotype, right? With Africa, generally, you'd know this. Like, like with certain places is black magic, or certain places is like,
real, but
it is real. And even I'm not saying hunting's not real. People do it in Kenya, but I think it depends on the ethnicity, like within the country, what you fall under, etc. So I mean, it's you wouldn't see me sitting around wild animals and making them friends or trying to kill them because it's not common, really.
Okay. Anyone who doesn't know knows, like, obviously why you're on the show and stuff. What was your sort of? Did you have an entrepreneurship?
No, he needs to say it.
I said I wasn't gonna say it.
Go and try.
I'm gonna try it. Entrepreneurship. Yeah. That worked. When did you realize? Okay, I like money. Was there a moment? Because like in our school, like there's people that sold like
sweets and stuff,
sweets or Lucasades or people used to go back of like Krispy Kremes like bins and sell them over in school. So what was did you have one in school?
I think obviously growing in a family of entrepreneurs always helps. Right? It is always an influence. But for me, I started at school. My mum used to make me lunch. And I used to never want to eat the lunch she makes for some reason. I always want to go with the burgers in the lunch and stuff. And I was like, never. Basically, I started to tell people, "Do you want them?" And they started to like it. And I was like, "Yo, I could maybe start giving them for 50p. Wow. Every little naan bread I sell is giving me 50p." Don't ask me why it was naan bread, like Indian naan bread, curry.
We're all thinking of what you said.
But anyways, people liked it. And I used to have 50p, and then my mum used to be like, "Oh, why do you want more and more every time?" Like, but you see, like,
hurry up, man! Wait that food, man! Hurry up!
Put it in my mouth.
Put it in, man.
And suddenly then you're giving an order of 20.
Son, are you okay in the head?
And then they've extended lunchtime, mum.
I just eat more these days. And then basically started selling it, and then I was like, "Oh, nice pocket money, get to use it to buy Red Bull and sweets after work." And I was like, you know what, I like this. And then for me, like, my dad was successful running a business in Kenya, but when he came here, obviously he bought a house, he put all the savings towards me to pay for my university, all this kind of stuff. And my mum and dad took normal jobs. Like, my mum's a dinner lady till today, and my dad works as a warehouse manager. And when I used to see them put so much work in, I used to think, yo, like, you want to create a better life for them. You should. Like, there's kids out there that absolutely have no respect for their parents, and it pisses me off till today. Like, respect your parents. They're the ones that brought you here, built. I understand relationships get bad, but don't ever get to a point where you like disrespect them in front of people. If you got bad times, then keep it behind the doors. You know, don't go outside and talk about your parents. And that really grew as a mentality in me. I wanted to do something. And then my career started off when university started to do things. I didn't like that 9-to-5 philosophy. I used to think to myself, "Oh, I just want to I want to make money on a business." But obviously that changed for me completely. But that's how I felt my entrepreneurship side started for me, was getting into all that kind of little things and a little bit of cash from the side.
What were your friends like in university? And I asked that because we always have this conversation. It's always very culture fixated. Yeah. But you've got quite a westernized.
I had a good group of friends, to be fair, at uni. A mix of everyone. I think naturally I was quite outgoing, so you meet lots of people. I'm not bragging, but I did make quite a lot of friends at university, which is always great to have. And then you start dating girls at university, you become their friends, and then your boys have got their own friends, and you go out and stuff. Like, first year is where you make all your friends at university, and then second year you get a closer group that moves in again, and then third year that group gets closer and closer. So that's how for me, university made but friendships. I remember till today, I don't know how we did this. Like, this is crazy. I remember we got to final year exams, right, and you know, boys are boys. Like, you're just a group of fun people. Like, you have a laugh. We basically never went to this course for the whole 3 years of our lives. The exam was in 2 days, and we thought, bruv, why are we sitting on YouTube trying to learn this in we're either gonna pass it or fail. It's gonna be one module or not. It is. And this module always used to be the night after clubbing.
Monday morning.
Bruv, we're not going to. Let's just not. So we were like, okay, let's go to a strip club. We genuinely...
Wait, what? How did you get to that? Go on.
There's a strip club. There's a nice strip club in Uxbridge. For anyone that goes to Brunel, it's called... what's it called now?
Is it on the motorway?
It's next to Hayes. Like, just Hayes at Uxbridge around there.
Is it like an isolated area?
Yeah, like a little pub.
Yeah.
You've been there, man. Well, had a few good dancers in there.
Yeah, like
good man. Anyways, it's not like we used to go. I didn't have that much cash to go blow in. Like, it's not like get my student loan. Let's go to a strip club. we just had a bit of money
night before exam.
Night before exam, we were like, what we're doing? We're like, this is not going in. Let's not get drunk. Let's just do something crazy. We're like, we're gonna fail, but let's make an experience. If we're gonna fail, we go to this nightclub, strip club, have dancers come back. We're like, Puff, we're failing this exam. No matter what we do, we're failing. Go into it. I swear, the three of us boys are look at each other. 20 minutes into this exam, like we fuck this. You know, we're dumb for doing this. Like we could have maybe spent that extra 1 hour, and this is quite easy to get through. But anyways, the questions were quite general knowledge. It was like entrepreneurship model. So I was like, it will be fine. We'll get through it. Anyways, at the end of it, we got results. That's the one that I passed. Everyone passed the most between the three of us boys. Every other one, the results were up and down. But this one, it was like, yo.
So the moral of the story:
just do what you want before the night.
Go to a strip club, you want to pass.
Yeah, but a strip club teaches you a lot about business.
No, it does.
She was like, "Do you want to dance for £20?" I go, "No, 15." And then you bring the negotiation down to £70. So look, life experiences make you a better salesperson.
How did you learn how to negotiate? Because I was so innocent, and I was just kind of happy to accept whatever someone's giving me. Like, how did you know, like, from an early age to kind of...
I think negotiations, like, it comes to people naturally.
Yeah.
Because I remember we used to go to, like, clubs after university, like, in Turkey or whatever. And remember, the boys just never used to, like, negotiate anything. Like, someone just says, buy this hat for 20 quid, pay. I was like, what are you doing? Why are you just paying 20 quid, you know? And then also, like, I remember it just started from there. Like, I used to be like, I'm not paying that much. I'll pay this much. And then I really love doing it as well, you know? I mean, people negotiate. You have to negotiate everyday life. You got to negotiate with a girl. Yeah. I don't want to sleep tonight at your place. I want to sleep at the hotel. It's too expensive. Okay, we'll do it now. Hey, you're negotiating everyday life. Like, so you got to be good at it, I think, to be successful. And this is in any job in the world. If you're a good negotiator and a good salesperson, you'll be successful. Sales is the biggest skill you need in the world of work.
It is, but it's the most
hardest skill.
It is, but it's the most frowned upon as well.
It's not. I think it depends. If you're a car salesperson, I appreciate what they do.
Yeah.
But you can't be too car salesy.
Yeah.
You got to know how to sell yourself.
Yeah.
And it's a very appreciated skill if you know how to like use it properly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's quite a natural skill to have.
When you initially tell people you're in sales, you don't get the highest respect.
But you never tell people you're in sales.
Yeah, you don't.
That's how you do sales. You never tell people you're in sales.
Yeah.
I don't tell it. If I was selling someone a car, I wouldn't be like, I'm a car salesperson. If I heard what problems there are, like, actually, I know someone that might have a car for you potentially. Sales is subtle. If it's out there, it's not good sales.
What made you go from? What made you think, right, I'm the man for Apprentice?
Do you know what? I swear to God, I loved watching The Apprentice, like everyone does. And I was sitting there in the room.
Not everyone.
So honestly, it was like, I used to watch that show with my parents, and I used to be like, this is so easy.
Oh, really? Okay.
I told my mum I'll do it. And my mum knows it's a habit me. If I say I want to do something, I'll do it. Yeah. And I'll make sure it fruitions. Anyways, like, I said that I was going to do it. And then me and my mate, she's a good mate of mine, we got drunk one night. We're like, let's apply.
You applied drunk?
Yeah, applied
so
drunk.
You applied for The Apprentice drunk?
Drunk. I applied to drunk. And then next thing you know, I got an interest in the audition. So Apprentice, like, there's about 500,000 people that apply.
Oh, shit.
So it's a lot of people, right? Until today, I get bare people messaging me, oh, how did I get on this show? Like, tell me all the secrets. I'm like, bruv, work it out yourself. I didn't get no one to work it out for me. Why do I want to give you a cheat code to get on the show? Go, do it yourself. And then basically, so she's now... she got audition as well, and she's gone to film it like 2 weeks before my audition date was. So she's gone. She only did like 2 stages, and I'll tell you the stages in a bit because it's quite interesting. But she's done 2 stages, and she's like, "Oh, they'll let me know." And then I'm like, "Okay, cool." And I go do mine, and I do 5 stages, 6 stages in the same day that she would have done hers. Yeah. And I realized, okay, I've got further than her. Then obviously after that, it's like another. I think it's about 18 rounds of interviews and processes to get through before they choose you, and then you have to sit in a room with a camera on your face and chat shit, and that's when they realize whether you're good for the camera or bad, or you've got personality for a TV show or not.
Okay, so a lot of it is not down to this person's an excellent.
The thing is, like on The Apprentice, everyone there looks like a dickhead, right? Yeah. We're made to look stupid. Actually, the moral of The Apprentice is to get people off their bums.
Yeah,
like get up and do something. If you see these people and they're shit, it should inspire you to go out there and do something about yourself. That's the moral of it. We all are made to look stupid, but to get on the show, you have to be a very smart entrepreneur.
No, definitely.
Like the testing process is mad. Like I remember.
Talk us through the stages.
Okay. All right. First stage of the audition is you go into a room. Like you line up. It's like a shooting round. Like they shoot you. It's like you feel you're gonna get killed in a second. Anyways, you line up 20 man. Actually, let's reverse. So the first time you go audition, there's a long queue round Tottenham Court Road to get into the studios or whatever. So you go into this building. There's bare people. There's bare egos around, suited and booted. People being very cocky, confident, because they just think that's how you get on the show. Yeah. Actually, it's not really how you get on the show.
Debatable with you.
It builds up. And then they call you in rooms, and it's like imagine there's 500 people, so 20 they see 20 people at once, and they get rid of people, and you move into different floors in the building as you go through the rounds. So the idea is to get to the top floor, which is the final round of that one day. And they've whittled down from that 500, they'll choose 10 from it on that day. Yeah. So you go in this room, 20 people line up, 30 seconds. Why you should be Lord Sugar's business partner. And there's bare people just chatting so much. Oh, I'll be Lord Sugar's business partner. I'll make him money. And bear in mind, people want content. People are looking for the producers want something good out of these people. Yeah. And here's me, like I'll be very honest. I'm not gonna make Lord Sugar millions, but I'll get him his winning chocolate lottery ticket, and that's me. He needs to retire, and there's someone young needs to take over. And that was how I got in. And then straight after they put you in the lift, there's two of us in this lift, and I was like, we probably fucked it. Let's just go home. And the next thing you know, there's two lifts. No one knows where you're going.
So wait, is a lift outside or lift to? So
like literally, you leave the first audition cycle, and you go into two lifts. So one lift is going straight down. And we'll let you know how you've done the audition. It means you failed. Right. And if you go up, you go to the next round. That means you've passed it. And the next thing you know, it's a speed dating contest with different producers. Like, here's this, tell me about you. Your CV says this, and they want to see what you're like. And then after that, you get to the next stage where you pitch your business idea, and the producers now scrutinize you. And when I say scrutinize you, you will leave there like someone shagged you through your butt, and you'll leave. I'm not experienced it, but that's what it is. Like, you felt like, wow, they've traumatized me. And the idea is they want to really scrutinize every single piece of information out of you to see if you're really a true person or you're not true, whether your business ideas are good or not. And I was like, wow, this is mad. And then after that, you go into a room full of 6 or 7 people, and then you sit there, and it's just waiting. And at that point, I knew that the producers liked me, they liked my character. When I got on the show, I still remember this, like, I think it was in the 6th or the 7th episode, I remember the producer saying to me, you're not the same guy that was like in the audition rounds. And I was like, I wanted to get on the show, but I was never going to tarnish myself in front of millions of people.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, so they want you to look like a fucking idiot.
I was never going to do it.
Yeah.
I got the show, and actually, I did really well. There's a lot of people that got bullied out of the show. There's a girl called Siobhan on our show, and she left, she got fired. But I remember she was going to drop the kids at school once, and people were like, you're a transvestite. Like, people were rude. Like, you're so stupid on the program.
Do you not reckon that? Because let's be honest, well, you can answer. Is it set out who's going to go? Even if you perform better than the other people,
you know who's going to win the show before the show starts.
Right. Okay. Well, I did not know that. How do you know that?
You produce, like, when you film any show, like when you're in production, you will know who's going to win the show.
So do you reckon that's why you didn't go as far as you wanted? Because they thought, well, this is the guy we hired the producers, and now that you're not being the guy, well, let's push him out.
100%. I knew I was never going to win. And actually, the day that I got fired, the 4 people that were in my team in that last week before we got to the final stage all made to the final 5. And actually, it was my year when we got 4 of us got called to boardroom instead of 3 people to fire.
Yeah, I remember.
And he then fired 1 of us out of the 4, but I was actually never called in at that point. And then I got called back, and that's when I realized, hold on a second. I know I'm going. It's a setup. I knew I was going.
So you didn't not because your performance.
I knew because I got blamed for a task where I was just a film man. I was like, Mo, just film me, in my element, getting in there, mise en scene.
Was it the fake farm?
Yeah, in that fake farm. But I got killed for the shots. I was like, how did we lose?
You had bare shots.
Yeah. So how did we lose the task on shots? Like, we lost the task because the idea was stupid. We were in the wrong location. It wasn't filming. But at that point, I knew, But to be fair, by that point, I never wanted to win the show. Okay. I got to understand Lord Sugar as a man, and that changed my concept of the show.
This is the part where why is Lord Sugar?
I mean, there's a story basically that got exposed on the show, and this was task 5. I lost a task. I was in the boardroom.
Right.
Basically, the topic's quite dear to me. So when I was in Kenya, I think I was at the age of 5 or 6, I got kidnapped or hijacked, basically, when I was a small kid.
Right.
So basically what happened was I was going home, literally stopped outside of home, and a group of thieves just got in the car and took us in a car. So this is just me and the maid, and a group of thieves just took us, and they took us down to like the really rural areas, and they just left us, removed clothes and left us, do what you want. And obviously then your parents have to like pay ransom and all this kind of stuff. So it was quite a deep topic at that point.
He had a maid. Did you not just hear that?
Yeah, just had a maid.
No, I feel like everyone in Africa had a maid. Like in
that's quite common.
It's quite common.
It's quite common. Like it's just it's the thing.
You have drivers as well.
Drivers, because you don't tend to know the roads there, and it's local people that know all that stuff. And then Lord Sugar brought it up, like we were getting fired, and he made a joke about, your ear should have probably been cut off by those kidnappers. And the two guys that are sitting, Ross and Harrison.
Wait, how do you know about that?
Obviously, the producer must have said it to him, or like everyone has a profile about them, right?
Yeah.
And then Harrison and Ross, who were sitting next to me, literally hit my leg on the side, and they cut the show at that point. They were like, Lord Sugar, you can't say that. And Lord Sugar was like, okay. Well, and I said to Lord Sugar,
it wasn't Ed.
It wasn't Ed. Of course, it can't be Ed. Lord Sugar literally said, I say you should apologize. He's like, no, why should I apologize?
And he didn't apologize.
I didn't apologize. He's got too much power and ego. Why is he going to apologize to a random kid that's coming on the show?
But why did he say? Like, why?
The thing is, Lord Sugar, is a very successful person, but he's still. And do not get me wrong, The Apprentice is a great show. It's not created by Lord Sugar.
No, of course not.
It's a franchise, number 1.
Yeah.
2, he didn't do anything for me to get on the show. I got on the show, and every other candidate does it.
Yeah. He doesn't know who you are.
He doesn't get on the show. Yeah. But there's still levels of respect that he should show. Of course. I think there's a lot of candidates that go in there and are made to look like dickheads. Proper dickheads because of Lord Sugar he wants. And I get it, producing is a very complicated. You want to create stories of individuals. You want to make them look good. You want to make them look bad. You want to make them look silly. But there's a certain limit what Lord Sugar should do and shouldn't do. Like, if you look at his comments, there was a time recently, like, he made a joke about the Senegalese football team.
Oh, yeah, that picture.
He's naturally racist.
Yeah.
And I think he doesn't... There's a point where he thinks it's funny, and I get it. I'm not the type of person that hits me too hard, because I make jokes about race. Everyone does it, right? But there's a certain point where you cut it off at that line.
But what he said wasn't necessarily racial. It was just kind of, it was like very personal.
It was a personal attack.
Personal attack.
For me, it was.
Because obviously that's something that's deep rooted in maybe a traumatic part of your life.
Yeah, but it was. But then the point is, he let it run, and like the producers didn't want to cut it off, and I was like,
So who punched you? Was it your colleague?
Ross and Harrison? They're both like
punch you to
what? My legs, like obviously there's a table being filmed, so like they were like, mate, are you okay when he said that? Like, yo, I'm with you kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
So wait, who decided to cut and then like have a word?
Like, we were
with him?
filming, and he was talking, and all of a sudden I just broke out. I was like character was like, I'm like, honestly, I was like, I can't even speak right now. And the producer was like, do you want some time out? Let's think about what you just said. And then they were like, okay, they spoke to Lord Sugar. It's wrong.
Did he speak to you just one-on-one after that? Just
No, of course not.
Oh no,
never.
But did you
But that's when I earned the respect of Claude. Best guy in the whole show.
Oh,
Claude is his advisor. Because
Right,
Claude realised from the show I worked hard in the process. I was not a dickhead.
Yeah.
They never had the chance to make me look like a dickhead because I never did anything stupid.
Yeah.
And that saved me, because I feel if I was a dick, like there's a lot of contestants that have ruined their careers and in like dire straits right now.
Yeah.
Because they thought that moment would be like a block to them going to do Big Brother, celebrity, get me out of here. And when you go on The Apprentice, you've got to realise what you want to do. You've got to be smart, where I wanted to get on the show to create a profile. I work in recruitment. I'm always going to have that base of networking, and I want longevity. People go in there like short-term gains. Big Brother, 20 grand on the show. Okay, fine. Celebrity, get me out of here. Another 20 grand. That's 40 grand in the bank. But very quickly that goes downhill, you know.
Lord Sir Alan Sugar, is like he's harsh, but he's like a mentor. So he does give advice or makes you a better person.
Mentor.
I don't know. Like I assume that like it's like Jose Mourinho. He's harsh, but he'll give you that one-on-one talk in the shower or whatever. Like you need to do this, become a like. So he's not like.
I don't think he's a mentor because even the people that have won the money and are in business with him,
he's an investor.
I've spoken about him and say literally he speaks to me 2 minutes, and it's not even like during COVID he wanted people in the middle of pandemic to be in the fucking office. It's like, get in the office. This is what he's telling his winners. Like, your staff need to be in the office. I don't care why, how, when, they need to be office. He's got a very... Look, he's a successful businessman, and I appreciate it, and I respect that, like, to the T. The fact is, he wants to know what's A or B. That's it. He doesn't give a shit about anything else. He's got that tunnel vision in his own way, which I think now is different. And I think all his entrepreneurs that he's working with is like, I don't want you to tell me about your personal life. I don't give a shit what's happening in your personal life. Just... tell me this and go. It's kind of similar to like Pep Guardiola, where if you see everyone complains like his man management isn't there, but he's very good at what he does. And we're like Mourinho, and there's like great player coaches, men managers as well, and that's a good way to sort of like explain a lot of sugar.
Go on, you go.
No, look, I'm not in the finance business or industry like corporate world, but I think is it a thing where the employees are becoming too sensitive and they feel more entitled that they need their mental health to be looked after and stuff like that.
I think mental health is a big thing. Like I work in recruitment, but I know, I'm sure all of you guys have had times when you want to break down, but you can't. Like we're men. We take it apparently on our chin and go ahead. There's times when I know you've come home from a long day, you're sitting in the car. There's nothing happening, but you wouldn't leave that car for 5 minutes because you're like, your mind's locked into something. You come out, you're fine. Men have to always feel the need to be like, I'm a strong guy, this and that. But I think more and more as we go in now, I think it needs to change. I think there's a lot more happening anyways. But I still think men will always be men and will never show emotion. But I think companies are trying to be more accommodating towards it. And where I work for now, for example, is a lot about what can we do to make it better for employees at the end of the day? Because at the end of the day, like, it's competitive out there. If you're not the best at what you do, even as a company and the benefits you give, people don't want to join you.
We asked a few of our friends, like, what would you ask an apprentice guy? Do you get paid for it?
Yes.
Oh, you get paid for it?
Yes.
Per episode or full?
Just one-off fee. It's nothing. Fee. It's like 2,500.
Do you negotiate?
Nah, you can't negotiate with this.
Oh.
Can't negotiate. 2,500. That's it. So if you leave in the first week, it's great. If you're there for 12 weeks, you're like your rent, everything's like it's gone.
When you got fired, do you get to see the others after or not?
When you get fired, you don't get to see anyone after. I actually remember this. This is one really good thing about the year that I was on. I made some really good friends. When I got fired, I got sent in a cab going to the hotel. That's the first time I got to see my parents after a long time.
Oh wow!
I got my phone back. I had my first, wank after.
Oh, we can get into this. Go on.
Are you allowed to leave the apprentice house?
No. Mate, you cannot leave that apprentice house. You have no phones. You can't watch TV. There's no news. There's no newspapers. They take you for a little walk, like a little dog, for 30 minutes in a day, and that's it. Done.
Wow.
That's horrible.
Is it like a Love Island? Sorry, is it like Love Island? Do people just end up shagging in that house, or like?
To be fair, your testosterone.
Yeah,
it builds up.
Yeah.
So wait, no one masturbated in the house once?
Because there's cameras on you.
You're sharing a room with 3 guys.
Yeah. You got toilets, right?
But what am I wanking to?
I can't think of anything worse than showering.
There's no pictures. There's
your
no
imagination.
phones.
Do you know how hard it is to use your imagination these days?
Now,
tough.
Back in the day, 20 years ago, mate, imagination get me through.
I mean, and the time that you're in the toilet, it's like downtime, and I'm like, so what am I going to do the next task? No, it's not going up. It's like, what did I do wrong in it? It will just go shrivel down.
Quickly, best thing about The Apprentice?
People.
The people.
100%. Everyone on that show, love them.
Worst thing about The Apprentice?
Sounds like Sir Alan.
Nah, the highs of the show were mad. Like,
what, sorry?
The highs of the show, like when you're out clubbing, like everyone knows you. Everyone's going. Like, I'm not even lying. Like, I used to go out clubbing. I'd never have to go chat up a girl. They would literally come to you. Like, It was mad. I remember
out pussy.
I met
Oh,
so
man.
many famous people. Met some Arsenal players along the
Oh,
way.
shit.
Couldn't be asked to take pictures of them. But yeah, like it was mad. But the lows after the show, there's no psychological support. And you know what? Like there's been lots of Love
There's no
Island.
psychological
There's
support in
none
The
after.
Apprentice.
You know, there's lots of Love Island people that have
Suicide,
done mental health.
yeah.
There's a guy on my show, like my year, ended up in a mental health hospital. I can't really name him because it's his own. Like
Oh,
he's
it's
going
a
through it.
personal thing, right.
But he went bankrupt. Like the lows of the show are mad. Even I felt like, yo, like after 2 years, I couldn't like feel like I had no privacy. Go out to a club, like people take pictures of you. Like there's a judgment, there's an opinion on you, no matter where you go. Obviously now it's calmed down. Now I feel I got my life back.
But what would you say to people that say, look, you knew what you were getting yourself into?
100%.
Do you?
No, they do. But to be fair,
It's a BBC One. Everyone's got BBC One.
nah, everyone
You don't,
watches.
do you
8
think
million.
how famous you I'm gonna be?
8
really?
million?
Nah, you don't think of that.
Yeah, you don't think.
You
of
don't
that.
think of
You
that.
don't think
You
of
don't-
that.
8 million
But you
views.
said you were there to build a profile.
Yeah,
right?
profile, but I didn't think
business,
like
yeah.
a business profile.
Yeah,
work
work,
profile.
you
But I
don't
didn't think I was not there to go on celeb. But then you're like, yo, the followers start to come, and you're like, this is mad. How crazy it is. But the thing is, like, with the one thing with The Apprentice is, as I said, it's like, what do you want to achieve out of it? There's people that were dicks on the show, yeah, and they got showed that way. When they went out, they were horrified to go out. They hated going to clubs.
Yeah.
They were like, because every time they go out, someone's like saying stupid things to them.
Yeah.
I fortunately never had one bad comment ever when I went out. There's a lot of respect. And actually, I was one of the first sort of Indians on The Apprentice, like community-wise.
Yeah.
Everyone loved
Yeah,
it.
love,
And
yeah.
like in Harrow, it was like mainly.
Oh, Harrow, yeah, you're getting-
I loved
yeah,
it.
you're getting love, yeah,
and then
yeah.
anyone that I met alongside it was just like, mate, I'm so proud of what you did.
Did you get any investors or any job opportunities straight after? Like, your line must have been popping.
No, it was good. Like I remember getting lots of calls from people, but then you have to be very careful. I remember I swear to God, yeah. Who remembers ACN?
Yeah.
ACN.
Right.
Some guy from ACN comes to me. He's like, bruv, you'd be great at network marketing now. Obviously, you're popular, so let's. I was like, bruv.
Fuck that.
And he named it as a different thing, and he sits down and like, here's the money. I was like, what are you on about? Anyways, there's many scams that I could have potentially got involved in. Like people call you in, like, I own this company, let's have a talk. So bring you into this room, and they're like, yeah, and then they start interviewing you. I'm like, bro, I didn't ask for an interview. I didn't ask for a job, anything. Like you called me in here.
Yeah.
And people want to do it. You think, there's a lot of clout with girls on, for example, in Love Island, there's a lot of clout, or people jumping your DMs and stuff.
Yeah.
You think on The Apprentice, on the professional side, there wouldn't be, but everyone on LinkedIn's trying to message you like, hey, I want to meet up with you for coffee. They want to do it for their pictures and then put it up like, oh, I met this guy. It's the same thing that works on the other side
Networking, okay.
but it was, you get a lot of but I wanted to run my business, which I ran, but then obviously the pandemic.
How rude! This girl DM'd you just to shag. Like, what the fuck she's thinking?
I was like, yes, of course. I was like, I'm a bit busy. Today,
I'll squeeze you for 2 minutes.
Yeah. I remember, like, during The Apprentice, right? I swear to God, you couldn't tell anyone you're going to the show. So I told everyone I was going to Vietnam. I was telling everyone I'm going to Vietnam. No phones, no nothing. And like, my boys were like, why the fuck are you going to Vietnam? Like, what's happened to you? I was like, nah, boys, I've had a tough time at work. Like, I'm trying to keep a straight face.
Yeah.
I need to leave. I even, like, with that company I used to work for, I was like, oh, I got a job with Emirates. I need to go to Dubai as an air hostess. They were like, what the fuck? I had to make lies everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, there has to be certain point lies where they're like, either he's chatting shit or not. But you got to make it so unbelievable.
Yeah.
Anyways, I get on the show and then I was like, obviously haven't told people. They filmed me in London. I'm from London.
You're joking.
And I was like, here we go. I think it was the third or fourth night. We were in Wembley, and I was like, I live in Wembley.
Harrow.
And they filmed me in Wembley, yeah? And they put me in a popcorn outfit. So
Oh, yes.
I was in this little popcorn outfit. I was like, bruv, I beg a girl. I don't keep the man to see me, but I beg a girl to see me. Funniest thing, a girl from my university who I'm close friends with walks in. I said, what are you doing here? And a bit like there's obviously cameras around, but you'd still think because there's a
it's
football
quite
match,
fluent,
there's
yeah.
things going around. She didn't even realize. And she's like, and obviously the producers were right next to me, and we were mic'd up so they can hear what we're saying.
Yeah.
My heart dropped. I was like, I lost my job, and that shit went really bad. I was dating her good mate, and I was like, after her, I was like, it went really tough, and I was like putting a face on, and I'm just working here, and she must have been like, wow.
She must have got gas.
She's like,
look at my man.
She went and told her girlfriend that, her girlfriend that, I saw him, guess what, he was dressed like a fucking popcorn outfit. and then a few weeks later, love, calm down on me and Apprentice. Take that back.
Must have been like, because you obviously your family must have been proud of you that you got an apprentice.
Yeah, my mum, dad.
They can't keep a fucking secret.
Nah, man, the NDAs are mad. The NDAs, like if I spoke about the apprentice the way I've done today, I'll be in trouble. Like in those 2 years, I didn't even know how long my NDA is. To be fair, I could be in jail. That could be caused by you lot, but yeah, no, it's you have to keep it secret.
Does Karren Brady deserve to be the West Ham director?
Yeah, the club is shit. She's shit. I mean,
what was she like?
She's a very astute. I love Karren. I think she's smart. Karen's really good at what she does. She knows like the business. She knows how to be a strong female leader.
Right, and if the cameras are off, you would say,
she's okay, man. She's okay. I wouldn't. Out of the three of them, I'd put Claude, Karren, Lord Sugar.
Okay.
For me, Karren was okay. She never spent time with me to care. Claude did that. I still speak to Claude here and there by email. Wow. But Karren doesn't have time for it. So she's very much like her own world kind of thing. Yeah. She's running a football club, I get it, you know.
Yeah.
And you think, does she deserve that job, yes or no?
I don't know how she got it, but however she did, she's obviously done well for it. But I don't know, it's tough being someone like her, you know, where the spotlight's mad on you.
You know, because she's a female, dominant gender.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I remember The Apprentice, there was a lot of conversations in that boardroom, like, when we were getting fired, or when someone was like, when the girls were fighting, she'd be like, girls, stop fucking fighting. The camera's still rolling. Right. She's like, girls, stop fighting. Yeah. She's like, you guys represent women on the show. There's little girls watching. This is not how you represent. So she's very smart. She's articulate in how she wants to convey things. Right. So she's decent.
And the last question I have is, and everyone wants to know this, and you've had this asked numerous times, do you really get only 20 minutes to get ready?
It's less than 20 minutes, bruv. There's times mate,
at 5 a.m.
Let me tell you a stupid story. Until today, I should have done something about this. The first day we entered this house for filming, and they're filming you, like, you've seen the bathroom and all this, right? They film me. I'm in a room now, so I'm running towards the room, and a few of the other candidates have jumped onto my bed, and the bed drops, it collapses. So throughout the 12 weeks or 8 weeks,
who jumped in your bed?
A guy called James. Like, they were filming, and the bed dropped. So everyone's got a bed with like these stands on. And here's me, 12 weeks, 8 weeks. They didn't get me another bed. They were like, you sleep on the floor.
You're joking.
I slept on the floor. BBC made me sleep on the floor.
He's like, he's from Kenya. He can have
it. He's like, he's used to, and I told them, like, you want me to stay here? Like, yeah. We're like, we have no other beds. I was like, you're having a laugh. For 8 weeks, you want me to sleep on the floor? They're like, yeah.
On the mattress, right?
Yeah, on a mattress, but it's on the floor. The next thing you know, like, in 3 weeks, there was mould, because it was like...
You're joking.
Mate, our TV license combined could have got you a new bed.
100%. And I was like, until today, all of us laugh about it. But, like, when I look back at it, that is fucked.
That's bad, man.
They were like, he's African, he's Kenyan, he's Indian, he's not British. Put him in
I don't know, do they record you in the house, or do they record you sitting on this broken bed?
No, there's a point when they come filming, so it goes on to that story. Get up. So here's people coming out of bed, like, nicely, and here's me, like, bro, I'm trying to stretch out my t-shirts, I wipe down, like, they're like, look at that peasant.
So the odds were really against you.
100%, they were like,
shit sleep.
Let's fuck him up. Like, let's get rid of him in the first week. I think that's what the plan was, to get rid of him in the first week. But they're like, oh, it's actually good. Like, let's keep him going. And but yeah, they came the first night. Obviously, now I'm sleeping in this bed. You have a shit sleep, and the camera's on top of you. They come in like 2 a.m. Yeah, and you bear in mind, and the first night they're like, oh, here, have champagne, get drunk, sleep. You don't know when the task starts.
Yeah,
we must have been like, some of us guys were drinking till like 11:30, 12. We'll go to sleep. Well, at least it'll be 7 a.m. or something. Yeah. 2 o'clock. 2 hours sleep. Bear in mind, you're tired of filming the whole day. You've been in that boardroom or whatever. They turn up. You're sleeping. You got white stuff all over. The camera was on top of us, and we went deep sleep, not knowing this. And they're like, "Wake up!" That stupid phone rings from Lord Sugar, and then everyone is like literally getting excited. I want to be the first person to pick up. I heard it, and I was like getting up like this, yeah. there's no judgment of the cameraman as well, because I'm all the way on the floor. Normally he would be holding the camera up a little bit and he's on the bed. I swear to God, I got like so shocked out when I woke up. I literally went, I was like, nah. So this is how it is. And now, like, every time they'd be in there. Sometimes you shower at night, you don't shower in the daytime because you have no time. But 20 minutes you're out. Less than 20 minutes you have to be out. But it's dirty, man. But you're like brushing your teeth, trying to grab a croissant on the way, taking a shit. You have to wait for someone showering. There's a man showering there. You're taking a shit. There's one like take a piss there.
Serious.
It's mad.
I can imagine Malcolm like, nah, he can find me, bro. I'm going to sleep. I'm going to sleep.
You have to get me out my bed, man.
I'll meet you after the task.
Let me know how it goes. Like,
looking at us three, and like just based on this hour or so that you get to ideas of us, who do you think would be the last on, and who would be the first to get kicked out?
I think he would be the finalist or the winner.
Shock. What are you basing that on?
So basically, when he discussed how he goes and all this kind of stuff, I can see he's got a bit of
work ethic.
Yeah, work ethic to him. I think you would be second.
yes.
The thing is, he can talk.
Yeah.
And I think you'd be third.
Yeah.
Because you're quite reserved.
Okay.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean you're not smart on the show.
Yeah.
Because on the show they'll be like, we want more of you, and I think you'd be like, fuck off. I think he would get tired of filming. Like, I'd be like, shut up, I'm not gonna do this. I think he would be like, yes, sir, I'll do it. What you tell me? Yes, daddy. And I think he'll be like, can you do that better? Yeah, I'll do it. Is that enough though?
He's gonna have shit on his nose, bro.
So, what's life like now? What's life like after sort of the Apprentice? What's life? What you've been doing? What's been going on with you in terms of like business, work, like everything?
You don't have your own business at the moment, do you?
No, so I lost my business.
That's one. And actually, go on, talk about it. Go on.
So after Apprentice, I started my recruitment agency. Did it for 4 years.
What was it in?
Assessment days.
Okay.
So, you mentioned how hard it is for graduates to get a job. You're begging for your first job.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd do an assessment day where graduates come into it, and we don't put them through interviews because they're shit in interviews, but put them through group stages, fun tasks to see what their real capabilities are like.
Oh, wow.
So it started to do really well. The agency, I never had investment, started this for my own savings. And by fourth year, we were making profit every single year. By the fourth year, I was probably making about 140K. In profits.
Was this before the Apprentice or after the Apprentice?
After the Apprentice.
Okay. Oh, wow.
And revenue was probably about 175. Costs were low, no overheads. So it's quite good. At that point, I said, look, I'm going to expand, bring 4 people in, start doing education recruitment, because that was a good way to do contract recruitment. So now I've got a team of 4. I put all my money into this to bring them in, and the pandemic hit. Literally, I remember I had them in December, January, February, March. You put in big salaries. You know how recruiters don't move to companies if they don't get the money for it. So I had to do it to grow the company. Pandemic hits. Assessment days are closed.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I don't want to do them. I don't want to be in a room. And then every single placement that we did between January to March had to be refunded because it's in the contract. There's a rebate period.
But couldn't you have done it on Zoom, or not something you wanted to?
Couldn't do it. And there was a closure of every single business, and everyone was letting go of people. People have been put on furlough. People didn't want to spend on assessment days. People were moving. And it made me. My cash flow was going. It was the burn rate was so high. Cash was just burning, and I was keeping the business open. And then by the end of the pandemic, well, we're not really end of it, but I think 2 years after, I got to a point where I was like, nah. I put my 5 years into this business. It was going so well. Do I have the resilience to start it again? No. And then I questioned myself, what was my purpose starting this business? Was to try and make money. But I realized, like, money is such a... Don't build your purpose in life around money. If you build your purpose around money, you'll be unsuccessful. And I now work for a tech company. I'm the head of recruitment. And then Saturday, Sundays, I do Amazon Flex. Because I want to make more money. I can make a healthy paycheck now. Yeah. Between both of them, I do eBay, I do car boots, wherever I can. And it gives me some really good money. It gives me the same amount of money that I did with my business, but there's no stress. It gives me time to really reflect and do what I want. But there's this there's a concept, I'm sure all of you, when you run businesses, the biggest problem that we have in today's society is social media. If social media wasn't there, and the influence of people like Andrew Tate, and these modern.
Hey, careful there. Careful.
No,
Careful.
He's not.
He's a goat. Andrew Tate's a joke.
Oh.
I think he's such a bad influence on the next generation of people coming through.
Definitely, 100%.
We'll talk about that later, but carry on.
But
I just think
that's
the whole
a great conversation.
But I think like that whole concept of money change. I just feel people like, oh, you got to run a business to be successful. I'll tell you something. There's a person or people in the Apprentice show my year that had a turnover of 360k, 250k, profits at the end of the year. They used to take home £18,000. Put their life and soul into it, Monday to Sunday, no holidays, nothing. And you question yourself, how long can you keep going that way? And business is not everything. And people that run businesses know actually how tough it is to run a business. All these entrepreneurs that you see on social media saying, oh, I get to spend my time traveling. You're not really successful entrepreneurs. When if you have, you've done it the harder way. And now you're just showing the positive light. No one wants to show how hard it is. And actually, I say to people, whether you run a business, you do a 9 to 5, whatever it is, whatever makes you happy to earn your money, do it. And don't give a fuck what anyone else says. Because when people give it, when you start to think what people say about you, that's when shit goes wrong.
Yeah.
And when I left The Apprentice, did the business, when I was starting interviews for jobs, and I had lots of offers, people were like, really? So you're that guy from The Apprentice that goes for a job now? I was like, yeah. I was like, I lost it. I'm not going to build another business just yet. It's too raw for me. I can't. I've lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
I've got no more money left. I'm now 29. My next chapter in life needs to start. I need to get a house again. I had to give my house away because of the business.
Wow.
So you have to rebuild everything now. And when you rebuild everything, you think to yourself, okay, you've got to be realistic. Let me go get a job, build my cash flow again.
You want to do it right.
I've got to do it right,
Start
and
again.
then I'll go to a business.
Yeah.
You don't just jump from one business when it's like, it done well, it failed to circumstances. You can't just jump again to another risk, basically. You might as well take a safer risk, build something, and then go back to it.
I hope you don't hate me for that question.
No, it's a good
crazy.
way.
Like, I commend your mindset with that, because a lot of people in this day and age is that get money, get rich quick.
For what?
So if a business fails, try get another business up and running
Let
quick.
me ask you a question. How did you get rich quick? Of what you've seen on social media,
OnlyFans.
how did you get rich quick? Apart from OnlyFans.
Forex trading.
Yeah, this like crypto and all this stuff.
The funniest thing with crypto is the same people that were shouting on top of their lungs a year ago.
They were not quiet now.
Where are they now? Where are they? Because they've lost all the money. Any investment or any scheme to get money is always a risk. Investment, crypto's one. And the other thing that you have is people that are like, oh, I'll sell you this Amazon FBA course. If you're making so much money, why the fuck do you need to sell a course? Why do you need to sell your secrets to anyone? You're not making that much money. We live in a world where the biggest opportunity right now is to capture people's mindsets and make money out of them. And these are vulnerable people. And people like you, they could be like you and me, successful. And you look at this video, like, oh my God, I want to do something like that. Bullshit. Don't follow these traps. And that's why Andrew Tate is like, for someone like me, I laugh at him. And actually, I don't mind him coming into my content. But if a younger person watching that, I'd be like, don't watch it. Your parents worked a 9 to 5 and built up their lives. And they've got a house. They've got everything. How many kids right now, 30, 35, complain life's getting too expensive? Well, it's getting expensive because you don't know how to manage your life. You want to find things in the fastest way, in the cheapest way. That's not how you do it.
I hear that. 100%. What was your rebuttal towards your Lord and Savior Andrew Tate? Though?
Okay, look, Andrew Tate.
And yours as well.
Like I said, I don't take everything he says seriously. I do.
Oh,
think...
no, you don't.
No,
no, you both don't. Okay.
I do think he has fundamentals that will like I said, I do believe, me personally, I do believe we're going into like this sensitive mindset that you got to be careful what you say and what you do and hurt people's feelings and stuff like that, and saying stuff that goes against what society now deems acceptable. I appreciate that he's still got that mentality, which there's people out there that doesn't agree with everything society tells them that we have to agree with. So I agree. I like that he says shit that I would like, oh, you can still say this in 2022. So that's my.
But some of the shit it says is stupid.
Right,
like even with what you just said, like. But imagine he was saying that about he wouldn't say that about his own mum or his own sister, but he can say it about any other girl.
Can you quote something that you're really like, so then I can counter attack it? One thing that you're like, if you've heard him saying, you're like, how the fuck can you say it? I know there's a lot of stuff that.
Do not get me wrong. I'm not the touchy type of person, so like some of the shit it says, I laugh at it. Like I don't. But there's some stuff is just like, oh, I don't expect a woman to do this. I don't okay, that's calm. You don't. Yeah. But if I said to you, your mum shouldn't be working right now, what would you say to me? Of course, she could do what she wants.
But what about if someone turned around and said, well, actually, in an ideal world of all of us, the number one goal, like you said, how important your parents are, number one thing to do is actually retire your mum and dad.
Yeah.
And what about why can't we see it like that?
But that's not how he explains it, and that's the problem.
But he's got a brand which, let's be honest, he's
making a lot of money. Exactly,
I don't know about money, but he's definitely out there getting the exposure.
But the problem in today's society is you have to be so disruptive that it has to be so negative for people to talk about you.
It's it feels like sometimes it just doesn't feel
you never hear
it. It just doesn't feel
like... Are you a fan of him? Why do you not like him?
No, I'm not a fan of him because I just think less so about his sort of business stuff. It's just more about, like I said, the female stuff. It's just think you're just a bit you're just forcing, you said, you're trying to be controversial to get a reaction. I just think it's more of this, there's a group of them, all Fresh and Fit podcasts and all these people that kind of, they target vulnerable men in particular, men that don't have no self-esteem, in terms of going out, speaking to 100%. Women, and it's a deliberate thing. And there's always something controversial that surrounds them. There's little things racism or abuse of women. There's always something seediness that stems around these kind of people.
Agree.
Even Kevin Samuels and all that. It's just a bit I just find it a bit. It's not I hate them. I'm not
I don't hate him.
I'm not touchy about it. A lot of things.
He does his own thing.
At the same, do you? But at the same time, it's not.
But it's wrong. It's wrong in society.
I don't gravitate.
I don't know if it's wrong. I think
gravitate.
We live in a world where we get information.
Actually, that's true. It's not wrong. I take my words back because that's me having an opinion, like everyone else should have.
Yeah.
He's not wrong, but I think with how he portrays it, I'm not a fan of it.
Which is fine because I'm not a fan of the way Gary Vee talks, for argument's sake, right? But he's got such a positive impact, right? But the thing we need to understand, the sooner people understand this, I'm sure they do, but the sooner they actually take it on board is, we live in a world where we've got shitload of information given to us on a regular basis. What you do with it
is up to you.
It's not the other person's fault of what he or she is saying. No. It's what you do with it, how you portray it. And look, he's saying a lot of shit stuff, but if you take some of that stuff to actually benefit you, you say thank you.
Yeah.
Don't take the nasty stuff.
Nah.
And I enjoy a lot of his stuff.
But you don't. But that's the thing.
But this is all influence.
You're saying to a 15-year-old boy, what's the difference between good and bad?
You can't. You won't
be able to tell because it's coming from the same person.
It's the same way I see these influencer girls. But do influence these little girls of what's right and what's wrong and how to
and that's wrong.
Basically sell yourself.
Yeah, but how crazy is that? Their 15-year-old girls probably now look at it. The best form of income is OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Are you fucked? A 15-year-old girl looks at an 18-year-old, 19-year-old girl and says, the only way to make money is to selling my fucking body.
Yeah.
So what's so wrong with that and having sex with a prostitute? Yeah. Why do we have different mentalities towards prostitutes, brothels, people on the OnlyFans? I get it, they're completely different. But we're literally exposing people from a young age to say, this is the way you should be successful. Sell your body. Yeah. Where the fuck is a line? There's no morals. There's no lines in society anymore.
I agree with that, 100%.
Yeah. But that's great. But that's the same concept. Andrew Tate. He's not selling OnlyFans, but he's selling sometimes a philosophy that to a younger person is a wrong mentality to build up around.
Or tough to entertain.
And it goes back to that initial conversation you had. The person you sit next to in class influences you somehow.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Whether it's good or bad, it's up to you. But you can get influenced.
Yeah, man.
Where can people find you? I know you probably don't want to be found, but where can people find you?
Instagram. Oh, no, if you're a good-looking girl,
camera's right there.
Is that
at Sergeant Shaw _. Twitter, I'm verified, not on Instagram. Jeez. But yeah, Twitter and Instagram, follow me. Or LinkedIn, if you want to add me there.
I actually added you, haven't accepted me yet. But on that note, on LinkedIn. A while ago. On that note, we've been Tracksuits and Ties. I've been Mr. B, aka Mr. B Spoke.
Easy M, Sasha Musi.
MEP.
And we just want to say thank you so much for coming, Sarge.
Thank you.
We love you.
We
love you.
And can I say one thing?
Yeah.
Thanks for having me, but make sure you give these guys a follow. They're doing good things.
Hey!